Hi, my name is Dr. Steve Nicholas, and I'm a licensed marriage and family therapist and nationally certified professional counselor here in the U.S. And among other things, I have a comprehensive private practice for all walks of life, individuals, couples, families, here in downtown Reno. I also do a lot of co-occurring situations such as substance use disorders, depression, anxiety, post-traumatic stress, all of that. I'm also the in-house clinician mental health provider for the Truckee Meadows Fire Protection District. All of those words to tell you that I've been in this field for quite some time, and my path has led me to do a lot of work with first response, especially fire service. I've also crossed paths with BLM, Forest Service, doing CISM and CISD responses. So I get to be a mental health provider and a trainer for you and for everybody that you're affiliated with to try to help you find mental health, again, health, balance, and wellness. Our paths will keep crossing a lot more, and following this video is going to be a little bit more about some of the food for thought that I hope you have in this first part of the season. And I want to be Captain Obvious here for a few minutes. This has been a very challenging start to your year, to the season. It's been hyped as potentially, depending where you are, being a heavy season. And on top of that, we're coming out of, maybe we're not coming out of, but we're in COVID chaos right now. There's economic uncertainty. There's health uncertainty. That's on top of the daily stressors that everybody's had. Maybe you're a parent, maybe you are a sibling, a child to an extended family. All the day in, day out stressors that come with those relationships, those require your energy and you're tending to, while being in pretty strange times. So first and foremost, I want everybody to be able to acknowledge the stressors to yourself. I know we're with a pretty strong culture, pretty strong-willed culture, and I dig that, and I actually think we need that out of you. So thank you for being that. But in your quiet moments, and if you can to yourself, and maybe you can with some certain close people in your world, I'm asking you to try to acknowledge these stressors that you go through because they're real. So in these wild times, you might be a family person, you might be economically stressed or not, you might have health concerns or your loved ones. Those are very real. So I want you to be able to dial in on those and understand what are the truths that you are going through. Sure, life is beautiful and there's lots of cool stuff out there, and I bet you can probably get your head wrapped around that too. And I'll help you do that even more later in this video. I want you to be able to acknowledge the truth. You are a person well before you are in fire service, right? You are a person who's in relationships. I need you to understand what makes you tick. That'll allow you to be more on the level, on an appropriate level with your best people. On top of that, the contextual stressors that come with the job. Y'all are part of a very difficult profession, and attention to detail, protocol is the name of the game. Well, I think if we start to grow that into protocol and essentially attention to detail within your own mental health and wellness, you're going to be on a different road. That's my goal with you. More on that in just a little bit. The topic right now is psychological transition. So psychological transition, break that concept down, is can you move your mental wellness? Can you shift your head? There's an easy way to answer that question. Notice when you get overwhelmed and you get shut down. Right? Imagine if you get angry, that is not psychological transition. I'm asking everybody to start to, imagine what does it mean to move with the moods, to let the movement of a day transition psychologically. If you are heightened in an incident, hopefully you can shift down and you can start to relax. If you are mellow in the morning, it's time to get your game on. It's time to fire it up. Psychological transition isn't just with your profession. It's obviously with every role and every hat that you wear in your world. Attached to this video will be a couple of documents. There's a burnout doc, and that is a scale. That scale breaks down essentially some very enlightening characteristics about what you are going through. Please take that burnout scale and answer it for yourself and answer it honestly. So whatever that score is, that's a lot of food for thought. I personally took it. I'm under a 25. Good news. I'm dialed. I guess I better be. This is my job. I'm going to bet that especially later in the season, your burnout factors and those warning signs are going to start ramping up. And that means that I'm worried about you in anticipation. I want you to be worried about you. I also want you to be concerned about your crewmates and your loved ones in the field and at home. So there's another document, and that is a professional balance doc. That's kind of a size up, an emotional and lifestyle size up for how you're doing financially, emotionally. If If you got a love life, how's it going with that? If you're a spiritual person, are you dialed? And the overall sense of self. That balance document also is a little Q&A on what's going well in my world and what deserves attention. I choose those words intentionally. What deserves? You deserve attention to some factors in your life. So please print out those docs. Bring them with you. Put them in your engine, put them in your buggy, bring them to camp, and fill those out. Okay? It's time for your emotional size up so that you now know where your warning factors, where your blind spots are, so that you can psychologically transition. That's the name of this game. You got to be able to move with this. Otherwise, you're going to get eaten up from the inside. I want to introduce a concept about pressure cookers and tea kettles. I'm the youngest of 4 boys. We grew up like a band of thugs, essentially, in our small community. My mother, she had a big pressure cooker. She would put some form of animal in there, cook it, and the 4 boys would have food. But while the parents were away, the boys would get a little bit rowdy, and we would discombobulate the thermostat on the pressure cooker, put a bunch of our toys, like the old Green Army Men, things like that in there, tighten it down, and we'd essentially create what's now known as a pipe bomb. What I take from that example is a pressure cooker, when it cannot release pressure and the thermostat cannot regulate, it will pop. And that pop is extraordinary. It's destructive. It's undeniable. And I think that is a metaphor for many of us in this type of work, that we have repetitive traumatic exposure. And when it goes unreleased, when we cannot release that pressure, boom. I think we've all seen it happen. And we can avoid that. When we repeatedly go through our days, our weeks, our season, we go home, we don't know how to shut it off, we don't know how to dial in with the other parts of our life, we're going to pop, and it's going to be dysfunctional. And there's a way around that. So take the pressure cooker idea and now compare that into a tea kettle, right? You put that volume of liquid, you put it on a flame, it gets hot, it gets real hot, but it can't get out of control. Worst case scenario, it bubbles over a little bit, but it starts to communicate. So it offloads the pressure. It cannot reach too much of a volatile level. It cannot explode. Pressure cookers and tea kettles. I think those are examples for high stress performers, such as all of you. So what do? It's more than just talk about being a tea kettle. How do we do that? The easy way to recognize is our stress is just take a little bit of a size up, right? You're all familiar with essentially situational awareness. So up, down, all around, what's going on with me right now? Identifying what is going on is 90% of the game here. Awareness of what's going on in your personal situation is the majority of the work, because then you can start to get to, action and doing something about it. When you understand, you got to do a little size up, as I'd said, of the severity of, am I having trouble sleeping? Am I hungry? Am I paying attention? Am I nodding off? Am I irritable? Am I biting people's heads off? So you got to understand the severity of what you are now identifying before you can do something. Then you can essentially put an action plan to it. You take the severity of whatever you're going through, because now you're all tea kettles and you're communicating, and you decide what's important right now. Keep it simple, and then it's very manageable. If you bite your stress into a moment by moment, it's totally doable. You can move it. We talked about psychological transition. You can't transition what you aren't aware of. So dial in, identify what's going on, understand how severe it is. Now you can start to decide what's important right now in this moment. Boom, execute. Okay? You're all good at following through with things. So similar, you're going to make a plan, you're going to work the plan. That's a pretty straightforward way to balance out stress reduction, but you must accurately be able to dial into yourself. This is essentially the what do I do with what I figured out on that burnout scale and that wellness worksheet. Identify it, figure out the severity, put it in play, execute. Here's how we're going to wrap up. I'm asking you to take a couple of moments, dial in about yourself, right? I ask that of myself on most days, on most mornings. Essentially, when I wake up in the morning, I try to call my shot on the day, get my head wrapped around what's going down today. What do I have to do? I try my best to hold on tight and get it all done. And then in the evening, that's my opportunity to do my own debrief. Most schisms are avoidable if we can get in front of the stress. Most accidents are avoidable, I say most, I get it, if we are detail-oriented and patient. These are the same concepts that you have in your professional ability. I'm asking you to put into your personal ability. So you're intense and you're awesome professionals. Those skill sets translate perfectly to being a person. Your personal work and your professional work, they don't have to be very different. So dial it in. That is our closeout for this video. I'm not hard to find. I'm going to keep coming around, but I'm asking you again, get real with what you got going on with yourself. Then start getting interested in what's real about your people around you. Your crewmates, everybody on your teams. Let them know that you care about them, and consider this. Consider allowing them to know you too. All right? So the culture is shifting, gang. Let's be a part of it. Again, Dr. Steve Nicholas here. It's always an honor and will continue to be an honor to work with you. Be safe.